What archaeologists just found at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is bigger than anyone expected.
For the first time in centuries, researchers have uncovered what's believed to be Jesus' tomb inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
What if the story you've been told, the one you thought you knew by heart, was only half the truth? What if the tomb of Jesus, one of the most sacred sites in all of human history, was hiding a secret that had been buried for centuries?
Okay, we are actually inside the tomb of Jesus right now.
For over 2,000 years, it's been a battlefield without swords. Emperors tried to erase it. Armies tore it down. Believers rebuilt it again and again. And yet, even after all that, the real story remained hidden, buried under centuries of silence, dust, and deliberate cover-ups. Only now, in our modern age, have those secrets started clawing their way back to the surface. This is the shocking truth behind the tomb of Jesus. And once you hear it, you might never see the story the same way again.
This is a photograph of a unique and mysterious 2,000-year-old tablet or stone. This is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where Christians come to celebrate and commemorate the resurrection of Jesus 3 days after the crucifixion.
Here we are, 21st century, and for the first time in nearly 2 millennia, the tomb is about to be opened. To understand why this is monumental, you have to go back to around 30 to 33 AD, outside the city walls of Jerusalem. Jesus of Nazareth was crucified. After his death, a wealthy, respected member of the Jewish council, Joseph of Arimathea, took the body and placed it in a brand new tomb carved from solid rock. That detail matters because this wasn't just any burial spot, it was untouched. Different from every other tomb in the area. 3 days later, everything changed. It was early. The first day of the week, Mary Magdalene, the other Mary, and a small group of women walked toward the tomb at dawn, carrying spices for the burial, a quiet act of devotion in line with Jewish tradition. But when they arrived, something was wrong. The stone rolled away, the body gone. The Gospels say the women didn't just find an empty tomb. They met an angel who told them, "He is not here, for he is risen." They ran to tell the disciples. Soon, the disciples themselves came running, finding the tomb exactly as the women had said. And in the days that followed, many of them claimed to have seen Jesus alive. Historians believe this creed emerged within just a few years, maybe even months after the crucifixion, meaning this wasn't some legend that grew over centuries. This was immediate, a witness level immediate. And here's something fascinating. About 75% of scholars today agree the empty tomb is a genuine historical memory. One big reason, the Gospels record women as the first witnesses. In first-century Jewish culture, women's testimony wasn't even considered legally strong. If someone wanted to invent a story, they wouldn't choose women as their star witnesses, which means it's far more likely they were simply telling it the way it happened, even if it went against the cultural grain. To the early Christians, the empty tomb wasn't just symbolic, it was proof. Proof that death had been defeated, proof that Jesus was exactly who he claimed to be. But as the news spread, so did the danger. Rome heard it, and Rome doesn't like competition. So what did the empire do? It didn't just persecute Christians, it tried to erase the resurrection from memory, literally. A turning point came after the Bar Kokhba revolt, 13-15 AD. Jerusalem was in ruins. Emperor Hadrian crushed the uprising and then went further. He wanted to erase Jewish and Christian identity from the city itself. He renamed it Aelia Capitolina, his own family name tied to Jupiter, the chief Roman god. And then he did something unthinkable. Hadrian ordered a massive temple to Jupiter, or according to some sources, Venus, built right on top of the site Christians had long believed was the tomb of Jesus. It wasn't random, it was targeted. A deliberate attempt to defile and bury the place that had ignited a movement. The historian Eusebius recorded that Romans didn't just build on it, they covered it completely with dirt, paved it over, and sealed it under layers of stone. For nearly 2 centuries, the tomb was buried, invisible, forgotten to the public eye. Jerome, another scholar, confirmed the same centuries later, explaining that a statue of Jupiter stood where the resurrection had once been proclaimed, all in an effort to break Christian faith, and for hundreds of years it worked. The site vanished beneath pagan worship and Roman stone. But then history turned again. In the early 4th century, a Roman general named Constantine was preparing for battle at the Milvian Bridge. According to ancient accounts, on the eve of war, he looked to the sky and saw a cross of light with the words, "In this sign, conquer." He took it as a vision from the Christian God. He had his soldiers paint Christian symbols on their shields, and against the odds, he won. The next year, 313 AD, Constantine issued the Edict of Milan, legalizing Christianity and ending centuries of imperial persecution, but he didn't stop there. Constantine wasn't content with letting Christianity survive. He wanted it to thrive, and soon that would mean unearthing a buried secret that Rome had tried to erase for generations. One of the most defining acts of Constantine's reign didn't come from his armies, it came from his mother. Around 326 to 328 AD, Helena, by now a devoted Christian, set out on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Her mission, to track down the original sacred sites connected to the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. According to the historian Eusebius, Helena was guided by Bishop Macarius of Jerusalem. Together, they began a painstaking investigation to locate the long-lost tomb of Christ, but this wasn't going to be a simple treasure hunt. For nearly 200 years, the site had been smothered, buried under the weight of a pagan temple built by Emperor Hadrian. Rome had covered it to erase it. Helena intended to uncover it to restore it. For centuries, Christians preserved the memory of the tomb's location, passing it from generation to generation. Ironically, the Romans themselves had marked it by building a pagan temple over it. When Helena, mother of Constantine, arrived in Jerusalem, she ordered the shrine torn down stone by stone. Beneath the rubble, the long-hidden tomb emerged. Constantine wasted no time. He commissioned the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, completed in 335 AD, to stand over both Golgotha and the tomb itself. In 1009 AD, the Fatimid Caliph al-Hakim ordered the church destroyed. Almost nothing survived. Yet the site's memory endured. In the 12th century, Crusaders rebuilt it, reshaping its walls but keeping the heart fixed on the sacred tomb. Wars, fires, earthquakes, and rivalries followed, yet the church endured. In 2016, during restoration, experts opened the marble slab over the burial bench for the first time in centuries, revealing the original limestone surface and a cross-marked slab dating to Constantine's time. Then came the breakthrough. Between 2022-2025, archaeologists uncovered olive pits and grape seeds from around 33 AD evidence of the very garden described in the Gospels. Fragments of ancient tomb structures may link to Joseph of Arimathea's burial site. Geological tests confirm the tomb's features match 1st century Jewish. Custom shave, we truly found the resting place of Jesus before his resurrection.